My only company, my only company.
Blood off my hands, the judgment coming fast, too much blood on his lane. The second exodus is about to happen, ain't playing. He's sending out the winds on this rock, we gon' stand. We gon' trust the son of lane. Just to find the Bible was disconnected from the source, we done found the power. Messiah built the church back, gotta trust the founder. The copper, got the Bible with him, ain't no stopping you. Protected by the winds if you got his heart with you. Staying on the narrow, the Father gon' provide, got his eyes on the sparrow. Never seen the righteous get forsaken, not at all. The devil trying to take us cause he know he about to fall. Hey, Michael standing up in his hour, keep the laws. We gon' blow the trumpet, we ain't go to war at all. Messiah made a way, he laid it down for our flaws. We got the Father with his...
Messiah made a way. The Messiah, our brother, Hamashiach Yahawah, he made a way. Shalawam, shalawam to all the ox, all the aquas out there, the aquatium. Let's give all praises be to our Abba Yahawah, call Halal Yahawah, Baal Shama Mashiach Yahawah. Once again, shalom to everybody out there. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, to share, and comment down in the comment section, man. We have to comment, you know. We have to do that to edify one another, to keep this message going out to the world. Today, I got a good one for you. If you tapped in and you looked at it, it's about Baal. Right, about these other deities that we should not speak of, right? But we know as Israelites, as Israel, we have one. For we always are screaming out Shema, Yashra Allah, right? Shema, Yashra Allah, Yahawah, Allah Hayanawa, Yahawah Akkad, right? That is who we serve. That is who we worship. That's who we give all honor, glory, and esteem to, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, the taker of life, our Father, our Abba Yahawah, Kahallah Yahawah, Baal Shama Mashiach Yahawah Shai, right? And that's why we always say Shema Yashra Allah Yahawah Allah Hayanawa, for those who know Hebrew, right? So, like I said, we have a good one here today. The water for tuning in. For those that will tune in now and will tune in later, you know me, I love to dive right into the scriptures. So I got a video that I want to show too, right? I got a video that I want to show. We got some scriptures that we want to show. So it's going to be a process, you know. So like I said, let's get into it and we're going to move forward from there. But before I get started, let me share my screen and show this for the video that I do want to share, right? Let me see where it's at right here. There it is. Let me share that on the screen real quick. The fair use, right? Just in case they see this video and then they be like, oh, he uses, no, it's fair use. So it's on the screen. You can see it, right? This is for edification purposes, okay? This is why this whole thing is put together. This is why we do the work in the will of the Most High, right? For edification purposes. So I just wanted to let that be known. It's so the fair use. So they can't use this against us, right? So, hey, man, I'm so happy today. You know, we got a couple more days left for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know, we giving praises to our Father, Yahweh. You know, we serving him. We worshiping him. We walking in the righteous way. You know, I'm just happy. Thank you. The water, all praises, you know, for our brethren out there, the Ahchyam out there, for our sisters, you know, like I say, the Aquas out there, the Ahchwahyam, you know. It's just a beautiful time, man. But anyway, let's get into these scriptures. I'm going to start with the video, and then, you know, I'm going to pause the video through that and go through some scriptures and things like that. So, hey, let's get into it, you know. Let's get into it right now. Share the screen. Oh, man. Let me see what this video is. Okay, right here. Let's get into it, you know.
What is Baal worship? If there is no other God besides the God of Israel, then why did Baal have such a great power to pull Israel out of the way of God multiple times? Well, there is more to Baal than one might think. Baal wasn't just one of the many gods worshipped in Canaan. Baal was the god of fertility for both man and beast, and for the success of the crops. In addition,
so it was a lot of different things. It wasn't just the worship. It was the worship of the crops, fertility. So it was a lot of reasons why people worship this deity named Baal. They say Baal, but it's really Baal in the scriptures, right? Which is Satan, right? Hasatan. So it's a lot of reasons why people used to worship him. These other nations, not the Israelites.
In addition to that, Baal was also the supreme deity, the storm god who oversaw the wind, rain, dew, and with that, the success of the fertile crops for harvest. Of all the many gods in the Canaanite religions, Baal was the chief of all.
So all the deities, as he just said, Baal was the highest of it, right? He was the highest deity that they served.
When the Greeks adopted Baal worship into their religion, they later referred to him as Zeus.
Now, you heard what he said. When the Greeks adopted Baal, so all they did was, they adopted something that the Canaanites worshiped, but they just called it a different name, as you can see on the screen. What name did they call it? Zeus. So Zeus is really Baal, which, refers back to what the Greek mythology. So once again, Zeus is really Baal, which is Satan, or Hasatan in the Hebrew.
He wasn't just similar to Zeus, he was Zeus. He could even be worshipped through a golden calf image because a bull calf was Baal's accomplice. In the worship of Baal, rituals that attributed to fertility were events where people were to sacrifice their sperm or receive sperm through temple prostitutes to be granted fertility.
That's why I just did the video on Mystery Babylon for prostitutes, harlots, right? When you look at that video, it goes into why a prostitute or a harlot is a weapon that's used against the children of the men of Israel, right? Why? To sacrifice their what? As it said, their semen, their sperm, to destroy them. That's why you have these other nations of women who want the Israelite man, right? But they want that Israelite man that's on high. That's why they go after the basketball players, the football players, the soccer players, that they had that wealth, that had that elite status, right? In the hopes that they can bear that child and they can be a part of that.
Not just their family, but also for their livestock and crops. Although Baal was commonly sculpted as a handsome man to represent the male aspect of Baal, Baal's wife, Ashtoreth.
What? Oh, you didn't know Satan had a wife, huh? Yeah. Hasatan, Satan, he got a wife. There she is on the screen. And then think about it when you think about these rappers, or I know one rapper for certain who used the symbol of an owl, right? He wear them on his chains and things like that. What's his name? I ain't going to call it out, but it starts with a D. You know who he is, right? Wonder why he uses this symbol. Think about it. Devil worshiper.
Was sculpted as a beautiful woman to represent the female aspect of Baal too. Thus, it was believed that the deity as a whole.
That's Baal right there, a Baal, right? This is one of the statues that they used to use to worship Satan. This is what they worship right here. You can see it on the screen, right?
Was both genders.
In the Bible, she's called Ashtoreth. In Mesopotamia, she's called Ishtar. When she went into the Greek land, she was called Aphrodite, and then Venus. She is all over. And she's mentioned specifically there. Now, in the Canaanite mythology.
Notice what this man said. Notice what he said. She's all over. But just in every different part of the nation, country, states, wherever you are, it's just a different name. Right? She just has a different name. That's it. Aphrodite, Ashtaroth, you know what I'm saying? So she just has different names. Same person, different names. That's it. Almost like aliases, are better known as, right?
She's actually the wife of Baal. So Baal has a wife. Okay.
Whoa, did you see that? Let's go back. It says Satan, Hasatan, Baal, he has a wife that is doing his work for him.
In the Canaanite mythology, she's actually the wife of Baal. So Baal has a wife.
What does that say? Salaki, I'm gonna say Enchantress, right? If I'm pronouncing that right, right? And look at that woman. You can see it behind him. You can see the likeness of a woman. You see the lips, the nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, and then she has like this thing on her head, right? That mystery Babylon type thing, right? The mother of harlots type thing that I just did that last video. If you didn't check that one out, please go and check the mother of harlots out, right? Because this who the mother of harlots is. It is Satan's wife, right? That's why she has that golden cup with all the abominations in it. And that's why all nations want to get drawn, or they want to come to where? Mystery Babylon.
Okay, she is the goddess of sexuality, of sexual.
Notice it said goddess. So all these women out here calling themselves goddesses, they have that spirit of who? Hasatan's wife. That's where they get that from. When a woman calls herself a goddess, that's where they get this from. Satan's wife.
Immorality. She's the goddess. She's actually called a prostitute. She's the goddess who her temples were filled.
Oh, she's called a what? A prostitute. I just did a lesson on that on Mystery Babylon about what? A harlot, which is what? A prostitute. So that spirit, when you see women that are prostitutes, that are harlots, they have the spirit of who? This woman, which is who? Satan's wife. It's nothing new under the sun. This thing has been going on from ancient times. Ancient times. And this is what you have to realize. There's nothing new under the sun. This is Satan's wife. And she carries that spirit of what? Harlotry. Prostitutes. Being a harlot. Because that's what she is.
Filled with sexuality. Well, it was made it public. And Sidney even goes further. She had a priesthood. Her priests, listen to this, in her temples were men who dressed up as women. Also, they were involved in same.
Hold on. That's why it says in the scripture, don't marvel, right? Don't marvel, because Satan himself is what? He turns himself into an angel of light, right? Isn't that what it says? Don't marvel, but Satan himself turns himself into an angel of light. And it says, don't marvel again, because Satan ministers turned themselves into what? Angels of light. Right? The same thing. The same thing, right? It's the same thing. Keep going.
Sexuality. We see that explosion as well. Also, it says, remember, she says she turns men into women, transitions them, and women into men. Her priest, many of her priests.
Oh, let's stop right there. Listen, before we go further, let me hold on. Let me share my screen. Let's get before we go any further. Let's get into a couple scriptures, and then we'll come back to the video, because this is getting real deep, right? This is getting real deep. Let's get a couple scriptures and see what the Bible says, right? First of all, in the Bible, you know, and it's a lot of brothers out here, a lot of Ahchyam that do this, right? And they shouldn't. I don't agree with it, but those are still my brothers, regardless of the fact. But I do not agree with what they do, right? Using the word, using the word Lord, using the word God, right? Because the Bible right here in Exodus 23:13, it tells us what? And in all things, let me make sure I'm sharing the screen. Hold on. Yes, Salaki. Okay, because I want to make sure this is on the screen. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect and make no mention of the name of these other deities, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Now, somebody might say, well, how you know it's talking about Lord? You know, people say that all the time. Well, we finna get into it, right? And it says right here in the New King James Version, basically it says the same thing. In the NLT, which is the New Living Translations, it says, pay close attention to all my instructions. You must not call on the name of any other deities, Do not even speak their names, right? This is what it's saying. Why? Because when you do such a thing, let's see what it says right here in the NIV. This explains it all. Be careful to do everything I said to you. Do not invoke, call on these things. Because when you say these things and you mention these names, you are invoking those what? Deities or spirits to come upon you. This is why it says in the NIV, do not invoke the names of other who? Deities. Do not let them be heard on your lips. A lot of people, especially newcomers to the truth, when they say these things, they're invoking those spirits upon them, and they don't even have enough fight to be ready or to know how to fight these spirits off, right? And Satan, Hasatan, he just comes and enters them right away because they don't even know that they're invoking this evil spirit to come upon them, right? Let's go back. That was Exodus chapter 23, verse 13. So we shouldn't use these other names of these other deities that are being called. And somebody might say, well, how is Lord calling on Satan? Let's get it. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. We'll get it. I'm finna show you on here that when you say Lord, that it goes to Satan. I'm gonna show you on the screen. Just bear with me. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you right now. Right? It should be on the screen. Let me make sure it's sharing. Yeah. Okay, cool. You shall see on the screen what it says. I'm gonna blow it up. It says yes. Baal, right? It means what? Lord, or owner. So when you call on Lord, you're actually calling on who? Satan, Hasatan, Baal, right? And you are invoking that spirit. And this is, like I say, for newcomers that are coming into the truth, you need not to call on these things or say these things because you may not know the power and how to fight this spirit off. And this spirit enters in you right away, as like Yahawah said, when you out there giving the word, Hasatan comes right away and what? Snatches the word away. How does he do that? It could be because you're speaking these names and saying these names. As you can see right here, it said the word Baal translates to what? Lord. This is Satan. So when you're calling on Lord, are you out there teaching? Are you preaching? Are you doing whatever? And you continuously use this word Lord, you are invoking this spirit of Satan. I just want you to know that. But a lot of ox already know that, and they still do it. They still do it because they say what? Oh well, I'm just trying to edify the people because if I speak in Hebrew, then they won't know who it is that I'm talking about. I don't care what nobody talking about. What did the Father say? What did it say in the book of Exodus chapter 23 verse 13? So you going to override what the Father said? He said don't say it, right? Why? Because certain people can't fight those spirits off. You may be able to because you may be walking in the spirit, but that new brother or sister who don't have that don't have that buckler defense, don't have a shield, don't have a helmet, it don't have on the righteous the breastplate. Just because you have it on, they may not have it on. So you have to what? Be circumspect, as it say. Be cautious. That's why it says that in Exodus 23 and 13, right? And it continues on about the same thing, and it means owner. That means Satan owns you. This is why the Bible says whoever is a slave to sin then you a slave to who? Satan. For the servant, which is the sinner, doesn't remain in the house forever. But the son, Hamashiach Yahawah, the one who walks in righteousness, abides in the house forever. You know, and this is what we have to understand. And here it is, the same images. You know, when we talked about that little image right here, that's him. This is the sculpture that people used to worship. Or I won't say used to, they still do. This is the sculpture of Satan right here. Here's another one. And this is why in the wilderness, the children of Israel built what? The golden calf. Right? So this is who it looks like. Here's another one. Who is Baal? Look at the people coming up to him, sacrificing their children. They are sacrificing their children. That's what they're doing. To who? Satan. So like I say, this is nothing new under the sun. People have been doing this since the beginning of time. You know, here's a good one right here, right? And it means what? L-O-R-D. So we cannot continue to use these words of L-O-R-D because it means Satan or B-A-A-L, and you are invoking that spirit every time you call on L-O-R-D. You know, and here it is in the Hebrew for those brothers and sisters of Ahchyam who knows Hebrew. Here it is right here. There it is on the screen. It says a fallen what? Watcher, deity, idol, vanity, teaching what? Sorcery, hex, spells. That's what he does. That's exactly what he does. So that's who he is, right? Let's get a little bit more before we move on this one. Let's get just a little bit more, if I can, if I may, if you allow me to, right? It says B-A-A-L, right? It is a Semitic language, including in the Hebrew, which means L-O-R-D, right? So we got that. Let me see. And then it says right here that B-A-A-L was a Canaanite deity of what? Fertility, rain, the storms. So this deity that we should not be calling on because what? We follow the Most High Yahawah. It was something that they served and worshiped all of this time. All of this time, you know? So we can't do that. So let me go, like I say, I'm still pulling out a few scriptures. Let me hold on. I'm still pulling out a few scriptures. That was just Exodus chapter 23, verse 13. We're going to go to a few more. So look, stop using L-O-R-D, okay? Stop using that. Let's leave that alone, right? Leviticus 18, right? Here it is right here. You can see it on the screen. Leviticus 18, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh, your Allah. After the doings of the land of Mizraim, or Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, which I just showed you on the screen, that B-A-A-L was the deity or the one that the Canaanites worship, right? Which is Satan. The Most High is saying right here, Leviticus 18 and 3, after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, meaning where I'm bringing you to, I'm taking you to, shall ye not do. You shall not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahweh, your Allah, meaning he is our power. When you see the word G-O-D, that's what it means, Allah. And it means power. Or it could mean Elohayim, which means powers, right? Ye shall therefore keep my statute and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live. In them I am Yahweh. And then he goes on to list things that you should not do. This is why we need the law. All praises to our Father for giving us these words to separate us from all of these other nations, because as we're going to see, these are the things that all of these other nations, these heathen nations, these Gentile nations, the things that they do. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahweh. So nobody that's near to kin to you, you shall not approach to see their nakedness. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Salakia. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. And like I say, it continues on and it continues to go and go and go. If you haven't read this whole chapter, please go back, read this chapter. I encourage you to read the whole Torah so you can get the understanding of what's being said. I'm going to jump down some, and I want to jump down to verse 30, right? Actually, I'm going to start at 29. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, so everything he listed from about verse 4 or 5 on down, all the way to 28, 29, right? We'll say 28, right? Everything he listed, he's saying, for whosoever shall commit any of those things, right, that he listed is an abomination. Abomination. Even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Verse 30. Therefore shall ye keep my ordinances, meaning don't do what those people do, that ye may commit not any one of these abominable what? Customs. That was their custom, to worship Satan, sleep with animals, sleep with their fathers, sleep with their mothers, lie with man on man, lie with women on women. This was their customs. And this is why he said in Leviticus 18:3, don't do the things that they did in Egypt, right? Laying with animals, worshiping Satan, calling on Lord. He said, don't do those things. Don't keep the customs of those people. And it says, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh, your Allah, your power. So we are commanded not to do those things. Let me get one more in Leviticus, the classic. The classic. Leviticus 20. I'm going to jump down. And this is about the beast, but I'm not going to read 25. You want to go back, you can read it for yourself. People say that the law is done away with and we can eat everything. Why does it say right here to put a difference between clean beast and unclean beast then? If the law is done away with and we can eat anything. Why did the Most High make clean beasts and unclean beasts, huh? Anyway, in verse 26, as Peter said we got to be holy, as Paul said we got to be holy, as James said we got to be holy, as Bartholomew said we got to be holy, as Matthias said we got to be holy, but all of a sudden now the laws is done away with. Man, you better stop following Satan, right? Verse 26 says, and ye, let me blow this up even more, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahweh, am holy. So our Father, the Most High, Yahweh, he is Quadash. And he told us to be Quadash, to be set apart, right? To be sanctified, and have severed you from other people. So no, we're not like other people. I don't care what people say or what people think about me. Think whatever you want to think. Say whatever you want to say. I could care less. You know why? Because the Most High already severed me from all these other people, of the world, of the nations, of the heathens. I could care less what you think. Because the Most High told us to be what? Holy, set apart, sanctified. Those are the saints, right? That you should be who? Mine. This is what the Most High said, that you should be mine. And this is the spirit that you should walk in. That's why I labeled this, what spirit are you in? Whose spirit are you in? What spirit are you invoking? What spirit are you calling on? Are you calling on that spirit of mystery Babylon? Are you calling on that spirit of prostitute? Are you calling on that spirit of harlotry? Are you dealing with harlots? Are you calling on that spirit of LORD? Are you calling on that spirit of BAAL? Well, who are you dealing with? What are you calling on? Right? And then verse 27 says, a man also or a woman that have what? A familiar spirit, or that is a wizard. And they love that today in this world. They love that today in this world. They be, oh man, all them wizards. I think they got a whole place in Universal Studios. What's that place called? What's that stuff they be watching? Man, with them people with the jackets on and them little batons. Dang. Harry Potter. Yeah. Harry Potter. They got a whole thing about it. That's crazy. And here it is. The Bible said, don't deal with them people at all. We're going to get that in Deuteronomy real quick. Shall what? Surely be put to death. When you see them people that familiar spirits, that's calling on spirits, right? Wizards, it says they need to be put to death. Look at the Bible. But yet you take your kids to Universal Studios, Knoxbury Farm. You think it's fun. You let them sit and watch Disney movies with wizards and familiar spirits, right? What was that one movie that just came out? All the kids went to go see that about the witch. What was that thing called? Man, I don't even watch that stuff, so I don't know. But for the y'all out there in the world, she was painted green, looked like the Wizard of Oz and all that old stuff. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. Why? Because we're commanded to be holy. We don't deal with familiar spirits. We don't deal with wizards. We don't deal with none of that. We are commanded to be what? Holy. Let's get it. And then we'll go back to the video for a little bit. Deuteronomy 18, right? All the stuff that's been said in the video that, we don't deal with. Salaki, we don't deal with. And it says, what? Spiritualism. Forbidden, right? And I'm going to start at verse 10. And it says, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter pass through the fire. Are you making your son and daughter pass through the fire right now? Ask yourself that. Are you making your son or daughter pass through the fire? Well, let's see what the fire consists of. Or that uses divination, right? Are you using any divination? Are you letting your kids watch anything that has that in it? Or an observer of times, right? People want to know what your what is that thing called? What month was you born in? Huh? What sign are you? Astrology and all of this old stuff. Observance of time. Or an enchanter. We just showed you on the screen that Satan's wife is what? An enchanter. We just showed you on the screen that Satan's wife is an enchanter. Or a witch. So let me highlight these things real quick. So all these things are forbidden from the Most High. And yet people take their children to the movies. It's in their homes. They self, the parents are into these things. So they are doing what? They are making a son or daughter to pass through what? The fire. Knowingly or unknowingly. A charmer or consulter with familiar spirits, a wizard or necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination to Yahweh. And because of these abominations, Yahweh thy Allah doeth drive them out before thee. Thou shalt be what? What are we commanded to be? Perfect. We as the children of Israel are commanded to be perfect. Verse 14 says, for these nations which thou shalt possess, hearken unto who? Observers of times. That's what they did. The other nations did this. It says right here, but Yahweh thy Allah have not suffered thee to do. Let me get this. I want this in the NLT. Because I want it to be plain upon tables. I don't want nobody to be able to run from this. You can run, but you can't hide. I'm coming for you. We coming for you. Who you might say, who is we? The spirits, huh? The spirit of the Most High Yahweh that He has given to us, the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, right? To bring what? All truth into the earth. We coming for you, right? We coming for those that are doing evil, huh? For the wicked was made for the destruction. Deuteronomy 8 and 10. Here we go. For example, never sacrifice your son or daughter as a burnt offering, and do not let your people practice fortune telling. You know that man or that woman that's at the beach talking about, let me read your palm, and they looking at your palm and all that. Or you want to know what happened to Grandmama Susie and all that. I wonder if Grandmama Susie is okay and how she is. You better leave Grandmama Susie alone. And no, she ain't in heaven, okay? They better, them pastors, they lying to you. They lying to you. Fortune telling or use of sorcery, right? Or engaging in witchcraft. Oh, interpret alms or amens. Or engaging in what? Witchcraft. So that $1 billion movie that they made with the witch on there, it goes against the very creator who created the earth. But they don't care. They just want to make money. They just want to make the $1 billion. Or cast spells. Like I just said, who casting spells? That whole thing about Harry Potter. They have sold billions of dollars in books. I was gonna say equipment, but what do they call it? The wands and the jackets and the the stuff that you sell, apparel and stuff like that, are function as what? Mediums or psychics, are called forth spirits from the dead. Anyone who does these things, what did the Most High Yahweh say? What did the creator of heaven and earth, the creator that's going to get us in the kingdom, right? The heaven that everybody wants to get into, what did he say? He said, anyone who does these things is detestable. Oh, sorry, anybody who does these things. So all the people that go to Disneyland, all of the people who watch the Disney movies, all of the people who watch the Marvel movies with Thor and his daddy named Zeus, who's really who? Satan. Thor is what? He is a God of what? Thunder, which is a Greek God of mythology. And yet they make movies about him and you go to see the movies. The Most High in Deuteronomy 18 and 12 said, anyone who does these things is detestable. To who? The Most High Yahweh. It is because the other nations, who? These other Gentile nations, these other heathen nations, this is why we're in Mystery Babylon, and she is what? The mother of all harlots, and you are a part of it because you are from those other nations. And some Israelites love to be like the other nations. That's why we always was falling into what? Sin, because they wanted to be like the other nations. Instead of doing what the Most High told them to do, they fell off into what? Sin. Because the other nations have done these detestable things that Yahweh your Allah will drive them out ahead of you. But you, who? You, Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah, Naphtali, Manasseh, right? But you must be blameless before Yahweh your Allah. The nations you are about to displace consult sorcery, fortune tellers, but Yahweh your Allah forbids you to do such things. So we're forbidden, right? He forbade us to do those things. We cannot do those things. If you're an Israelite, you cannot partake in those things. It is commanded of you not to partake in those things. And this is why Israel went off, because they wanted to be like these other nations and partake in these things, right? I mean, that's just what they wanted to do. Let's go back, right? Let's go back and let's hear some more of this video, right? Once again, the water for those tuning in, giving all praises, honor, and glory, esteem to the Father Yahweh, call Halal Yahweh, Baal Yahweh. All praises be to the Most High Yahweh. Let's get into this video again. Let's go.
Were actually surgically altered. She caused them to
Really?
be surgically
I never
altered.
knew that. I
Yes.
thought that was just something of our gender.
Well, we do it more sophisticated.
With these things in mind, Baal could be depicted as anything imaginable and worshipped through sexual immorality and bestiality. The truth is, though, he is not a god, but some argue that Baal could be short for Beelzebub, whom Jesus referred to as the ruler of the demons. That could be true, as that matches Baal's description. Baal is an attaching spirit that causes all to worship other things besides Jesus.
Notice what it said. It's an attaching spirit, meaning this spirit of Hasatan will attach itself to you, and you start to go off and worship other things of this world and not the Father, right? Not to serve him and walk in his word and his righteousness that he told the children of Israel to do so.
Gods were all over. I mean, all over the ancient world. And the Bible says that behind the gods in the Hebrew scripture says was something called the Shedim. Shedim are spirits. In the New Testament, Paul says behind the gods are these beings called the daimonia. We get the word demon from it. So these are spirits. These are not just figments of people's imagination. That's what we have been witnessing. And now the first God, or the first principality, the one who always begins it, his name actually means the possessor. In the book, I call him the possessor.
In the Bible, it says Baal.
Baal means
Baal.
the possessor. Yeah, you know him as Baal.
See, that's what he is. He is the possessor. Why? Because he possesses you. You think you're going off just because. No, you're going off because his spirit is possessed you, and now he's leading you to go astray from the Most High Yahweh. He needs something to enter into. And if you're not strong enough and you're not walking in the spirit of the Most High Yahweh, he will possess you as that vessel and use you for his benefits.
Baal, he is the possessor. So the first thing, his job, what he did with ancient Israel, is he caused them to forget their God. And he caused them to start driving God out.
He caused them who? He caused the children of Israel to forget the Most High Yahweh, right? It's the same thing today. People say right now, today in 2025, the God of the Old Testament, I don't like him. He was so harsh. He was mean. He was bad. He killed children. He had people in slavery. I just do not like the God of the Old Testament. But Jesus, oh, they love Jesus. He's loving. He's this. He's that. Listen, don't you understand that Hamashiach Yahawah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he came from the Most High, as he said in John 8, that he is the true bread that came down from heaven, right? And the Most High Yahweh put his words, the words of the Father, in him. For he said in John 5, I can do nothing of myself, only what I see the Father do, or only what the Father has told me, which is, you would say, that God of the Old Testament. That's all that he can do. And that's all that he can say. So what are you talking about that you don't like the God of the Old Testament and Jesus is so people are lost. Stop drinking that stuff, whatever you own.
The worship of Mother Earth and created things in nature that God has made, that can be an honoration of the Baal spirit. Also, the habit of cutting yourself to relieve anxiety and tension. This was a practice that the priests of Baal and the people used to interact with Baal to connect with him concerning an anguished matter or just to get his attention.
So if you got a problem with cutting yourself, right? If you got a problem with cutting yourself, that's the spirit of Satan, right? Baal. It's telling you right here on the screen. You see it on the screen. That's the spirit of Satan. Let me get it in the scriptures where we can show you real quick. Let me show you something. Let's get it in the scriptures. I want to get this real quick in the scriptures. Hold on. Let me see. We're going to get it in the scriptures real quick. 1 Kings chapter 18. Oh, Don was walking. Where I want to start at. Go tell your master, yeah. Here it is right here. Watch. This is speaking about Baal, right? And I have made no trouble in Israel, Elijah replied. You and your family are the troublemakers, for you have refused to obey the commandments of Yahweh and have worshipped the images of Baal, right? Instead, now summon all the children of Israel to join me at Mount Carmel, Salakia, along with the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asheroth, right? Who is supported by Jezebel. Now, who is this? This is Hasatan's wife, the one we just spoke about. This is his wife. This is Hasatan. This is Satan, Baal, and this is his wife. That, as it says, Jezebel was supported by, right? So Ahab summoned all the people. He did what he was supposed to do, right? And it says, let me see, hobbling between. It says, Elijah stood in the front of them and said, how much longer will you waver hobbling between two opinions? If Yahweh is Allah, follow him. But if Satan is the power, then follow him. But the people were completely silent, right? Then Elijah said unto them, I am the only prophet of Yahweh who was left, but Baal has 450 prophets. So it was almost 500 men that were serving Satan compared to one man serving the Most High Yahweh. It's the same thing today. It's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing today. That's why you have all these prosperity churches, all of this prosperity gospel. It's the same. And even in the truth right now, that brothers and sisters know that they Israelites and brothers is teaching is not teaching the truth. They preaching and serving who? Baal. And Elijah said he's the only one. But let's get to where this cutting. This is where I want to show you where they was cutting on themselves. Let me jump down real quick. Let me see. I just want to go. So they prepared one bull at the altar. They called on the name of Satan from morning unto noontime, shouting, O Satan, answer us. But there was no reply of any kind. And then they danced, hobbling around at the altar that they had made. Salakia. About noontime, Elijah been mocking them. Yeah. That's right. Right? All praises be to the Father Yahweh. He started mocking them. You have to shout louder, he says. He scoffed, right? But surely he is a God. Perhaps he's daydreaming. Look at what Elijah said. Perhaps he's daydreaming. Or he's relieving himself. Or maybe he is away on a trip. So maybe Satan, Hasatan, went away on a trip. Or he's asleep. Or needs to be awakened. So they shouted louder, he said. These people. So they shouted louder. And the following their normal customs. So they had customs, right? Just to let you know that Satan has customs, just like the Most High has customs, right? That he gave us, just like he has laws and statutes that he gave us. Satan has the same thing for his followers. And then they did what? So just what you saw on the screen when it says that people cut themselves, you know, and they hear voices in their head or they hear things talking. Why? It's because that's the spirit of Satan. It's written about in the Bible. It's nothing new. So you think you sitting in your room cutting yourself or hitting yourself, you know, because you taking out pain? That's the spirit of Satan. So they shouted louder, and the following of what? Their normal customs, they cut themselves. So this was something normal to them. This was a normal custom to the people that followed who? Baal, Satan, with knives. They cut themselves with knives and swords until the blood gushed out. It was gushing out. I mean, this is crazy. The blood is actually gushing out. Let me jump down. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I want you guys to be able to go and read it for yourself, right? If you haven't read it, I encourage you to go back and read it. So I'm going to just read 30 and then I'm going to jump down. Then Elijah called the people. After all of that happened, right? Because we know Hasatan never answered. After Elijah called to the people, come over here. They all crowded around him as he replied, you know, the altar of Yahawah that has been torn down. Then he took 12 stones, one to represent each of the tribes of Israel. All praises to the Most High, Yahawah, for what? The 12 tribes of Israel, right? And he used the stones to rebuild the altar in the name of Yahawah. Then he dug a trench around the altar large enough to hold about 3 gallons of what? Water. Then it says he piled on the wood on the altar and cut the bull into pieces and laid the pieces of wood. Then he said, fill 4 large jars of water and pour the water over the offering of the wood. So now you have the wood on the offering thing, and he's saying, pour water all over the wood. Now you already know it's hard to light wood, anything that's saturated with water. It's impossible. Verse 34, after they had done this, he said, do the same thing again. Uh-oh. Not just once. But Elijah said, do the same thing again. And when they were finished, he said, now do it a third time. Uh-oh. Got him. You know that 3 always represents something. 3 days, you know, in the ground with Yahawashi, you know, 3. So he said, what? Now do it a third time. So they did as he said. And the water ran around the altar and even filled the trench. Now the trench is filled. At the usual time for the offering of evening sacrifice, Elijah the prophet walked to the altar and prayed. Who did he pray to? Yahawah. Make sure you pray to the Most High Yahawah. If you're going to pray, pray to the Most High, our Abba, Yahawah, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, the taker of life, right? Our Father. Of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as it says right here. O Yahawah, Allah of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yaqub, whose name was changed to Israel, prove today that you are Allah in Israel and that I am your servant. Prove that I have done all this at your command. And Yahawah answer me so these people will know that you, Yahawah, are Allah and that you have brought them back to yourself immediately. Not see how they was out there. It say that those people that worship Satan, they was out there from the morning to the noon, all the way to the evening sacrifice, jumping around, hobbling around, cutting themselves, blood gushing everywhere. But it says Elijah did this. And when he did this, after he poured all of the water and all of this stuff and built the altar with the 12 stones for the 12 tribes of Israel, it says immediately the fire of Yahweh flashed down from the Shemayim, or from heaven, and burned up the young bull, the wood, the stones, and the dust. It even licked up all the water in the trench. Man, you know there had to be some hot fire. Everything that was there, the fire consumed it. It tell you right here, the wood, the stones, the dust, and it licked up the water in the trenches, everything. Everything, right? And when all the people saw it, they fell down on the ground. They fell down on the ground. And when all the people saw it, they fell face down on the ground and cried out, Yahweh is Allah. Yes, Yahweh is Allah. And Elijah commanded, seize all the prophets of Satan, Baal. He said, seize them. Don't let a single one escape. You bet not. You bet not let one go. I can't wait for that day for Mashiach Yahweh Shai come back, boy, and the world turn. And you know, I pray that I make it to the end, that I endure to the end, that, you know, I'm just still in the spirit. I just pray that the Most High had that compassion and mercy on me. But like he said, man, don't let a single one of them escape. Oh, man, when Yahweh Shai gave that order. So the people seized them all, and Elijah took them down, right, and killed them. Where did he take them to? He didn't take them to the 4-star Seasons. He didn't take them to the Hilton Hotel. He didn't take them down there and just say, you know what, we all gotta get along. And no, he took them down there to the valley and killed them. That's what he did. Why? Because they was worshiping Satan. Because they were what? The prophets of Satan. Satan has prophets. Satan has pastors. Let me get this real quick in the New Testament. Even Paul wrote about it. Let's get that. 2 Corinthians. Here it is right here. Here you go, son. Look. Right here. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Let me blow it up more. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. These people are false prophets. The people in your churches, your congregations, your camps, right? Whatever you in, these people are false prophets. How do you know that they false? If they're not preaching the truth that's in the Bible. If they're not walking through the spirit in the truth that's in the Bible. If you see them contrary and doing things contrary to what's written in the Bible. That's why it's important for you to read your Bible. As the Bible says, read your Bible. Read the book. What is the book? The book of the covenant, or the book of the law. Even Baruch say, if grab hold of it, take hold of it, right? Baruch 4:1. Who? The children of who? Jacob, right? For what's pleasing to the Most High was made known to us, the children of Israel. And it says right here, these people are false apostles. They are deceitful workers who disguise themselves as what? Apostles of Hamashiach. Let me get all of that. They disguise themselves as apostles of Hamashiach. Kwam Yasharala, yeah, they say it, right? Call Allah Yahweh Baal Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, they say it. But do they really walk in the way? Do they really believe that? Are they really putting the work in? Are they really staying 10 toes down? Are they... Let me calm down. Let me calm down, you know. Let me calm down. Just know that it is false apostles out here that is actually walking amongst us like they're serving the Father or Abba and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. How do you judge them? Through their fruit. But it says in verse 14, I'm not surprised. Paul says, I got to agree with my brother Paul right here. I got to agree with brother Paul. What else can I do? I got to agree with my brother Paul. He said, but I'm not surprised. Even Satan, Hasatan, disguises himself as an angel of what? Light. Huh? Like he's illuminated. He's walking in the light. Who is the light? The Most High. How do we know that? Because Yahweh said he came into the world as that light. Even John testifies. John said, I'm not that light, but the one that come after me. So even John testifies. And you know, what John? John the Baptist, okay, if you don't know. But Paul says right here that he's not surprised. Because even who? Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Like the video I was just showing. And he even puts his who to work? His prostitute. His wife. If you didn't know. He puts his wife to work out on the corner. Looking for any, read Proverbs chapter, I believe it's 6, or read 6 and 7, matter of fact. She's out there looking for a simple one. She is out there looking for a simple one. Why? Because the good master is going away. That's what she said. You can come lay in my bed. And it says in Proverbs that that young man, he's simple-minded and he does not know that her house leads to what? To hell. Right? To death. That's Satan's wife. The harlot. Huh? The mother of harlots. That is Satan's wife. And she's rampant right now in Mystery Babylon, which is America. Rampant. When I say rampant, I mean turn up. Turn all the way up. But as Paul said, I'm not surprised. Even as Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, right here it says what? So it is no wonder that his servants, right, it's in the churches, congregations, right, camps, generals, bishops, priests, right, deacons, whatever you want to call them, Bible studies, men Bible studies, women Bible studies. Because see, Satan got it all crossed. Just because the women having the Aquas is having a women's Bible study, he's sending the spirit on them. The spirit of who? His wife. The prostitute. Why you think sisters don't want to cover their head? They don't want to cover their head. They don't want to wear a dress. They don't want to dress modestly. They want to be like the other women of the world, like Jezebel and them, or like the women that are written about in the Bible, with the tinkling things on their ankle chains on, right? Fingernails done. Fake fingernails is that. The Most High Yahweh said he hate every false way. If he didn't give them to you, don't wear them. Makeup on, eyelashes on, painted toenails, painted fingernails, and fake hair. The Most High Yahweh said he hate every false way. So if he hate every false way, but like you said, don't marvel, don't be surprised. Why? Them same dudes, they disguise themselves as servants of who? Righteousness, as it says. How can I put a picture of an Israelite that's in the truth, serving Yahweh, Baal Hashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, and then I put an that's in the world, living in the world, not serving the Most High, not serving his son, and I put a picture side by side together, and yet I don't know which one is in the truth and which one is not. It says in the Bible that a man might be known by his countenance, meaning his face. He may be known by his apparel, his garments. So we have to ask ourselves that, you know. We have a lot of wolves amongst Israel right now. And they need to come out from amongst us, as the Bible said. Come out from among them. So it is no wonder that his servants will also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. In the end, they will get their punishment. They will get what? They will get the punishment the wicked deeds deserve. So yeah, those men that's serving in the congregations, in the churches, the deacons, the elders, you know, the priests, right? The bishops, the leaders, you know, and even the ones that's just in the congregation, right? That's not walking in righteousness. They don't really want to serve Yahweh, Baal Yahawah, right? That's not 10 toes down. That's not willing to give up their life. That's not willing to turn over everything to him. Because you ain't got nothing anyway. Paul lets us know right here. Don't worry, brothers and sisters. Don't worry, true Akim. They're going to get their punishment for all that they done. For all their wicked deeds. They're going to get their punishment. They're going to get their punishment. Let me get this one real quick. And then we'll move back onto the video and get ready to close out. Right? 2 Corinthians. Since we was already right here. 2:17. Therefore, come out from among who? Unbelievers. How can you be with somebody who really don't believe? Who really not 10 toes down? Who not really ready or willing to give up everything for Hamashiach Yahawah, for the Father? It says, therefore, come out from among unbelievers and separate yourself from them, says Yahweh. Don't touch the filthy things, and I will welcome you. So we can't touch the filthy things. Huh? We don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, right? Mussels, right? We keep the Sabbath day holy, right? We keep the feast days, right? We wear our fringes. We keep our beard. And we always giving praises to who are Abanawa Yahweh. Call Allah Yahweh Baal Shama Mashiach Yahweh. Constantly praying and enduring and preaching his gospel, right? And he says, I will welcome you. And I will be your father. He will be our who? Our Abba. And you will be my sons and daughters, says Yahweh, the Shaddai Allah. Right? All praises be for that. Let's get back into this video a little bit before we get ready to close out, man. You know, all praises be for that, man. Just, whew, man, I'm telling you. Let me get into this video a little bit more before we get ready to close out. But that's what I wanted to say about if you cutting yourself, if you're going through those type of things, you know, that Satan, he is what? He's a deceiver. He's a possessor. So he possesses those people and get you to do those things, to go off and all those type of things. So just know, for anybody out there who's going through these things and these mental things, that it is Satan. It is that possessor. So, you know, let's get into the rest of it, though.
If you intentionally cut yourself for inner release and you hear voices while doing it, you are making a connection with the Baal spirit.
Bible, she's called Ashtoreth. She in Mesopotamia, she's called Ishtar. When she went into the Greek land, she was called Aphrodite and then Venus. In her Greek form, she gave birth to a child named Eros. We get the word.
See, she got many names. Many names. She has many. Look at this woman behind. You see the woman in there? Do you see the woman in here? In this imagery. And look what she's doing. Putting her hand over her mouth. Shh, don't tell the world. Don't let them know. They don't know. They just concerned about going shopping. You know, in Atlanta Housewives. In the basketball game. In the football game. In Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl halftime. You know, they just worried about the awards that's coming on, the Grammys. You know, They worried about everything else in this world, but not the truth. This is why you see this image. Look how it's right here in front of you. But if you really don't pay attention, you can't see this image. You can't even see this image if you really don't stop and pay attention that it's a woman right here that's telling us to what? Be quiet.
She's called Ashtoreth. She in Mesopotamia, she's called Ishtar. When she went into the Greek land, she was called Aphrodite and then Venus. In her Greek form, she gave birth to a child named Eros. We get the word erotica. So erotica starts flooding America. The word for prostitute, which is what she was, in her Greek incarnation is the word porne. We get the word.
So you heard what he said. I'm gonna rewind it real quick. He said, because he knows, just like I know, that she was a what? Prostitute. And that's where you get the word what? Porne. And where you get the word what? Porn or pornography. That comes from who? Satan's wife. Because she was a prostitute. Not was, but she is a prostitute. She is the mother of all harlots in Revelation 17:5 that is speaking about. She is the mother of all harlots, and she has the cup full of the abominations, and she has what? The blood of the saints. Why does she have the blood of the saints? Because she has been sent by her husband, Hasatan, to destroy the saints, which are the children of Israel. I hope you can hear that. I hope you see that.
To a child named Eros. We get the word erotica. So erotica starts flooding America. The word for prostitute, which is what she was, in her Greek incarnation is the word porne. We get the word porn from it. So there's an explosion of pornography all over the culture. So what Baal does, in one sense, she's repaganized. She's overturning biblical standards of sexuality and marriage, and she is paganizing our culture through sexuality and through possessing it. And she's also the goddess of spells and witchcraft. So she casts her spell on America, and we are still in it to this day.
Notice he said she cast her spell on where? America. Why? Because America is Mystery Babylon. And this is why it's who? The mother of all harlots is here in America. I mean, this thing is spiritual. This thing is very spiritual. And I hope you see this and understand it. Let me show something real quick about what Paul said. Let me share my screen again. Let me show you what Paul said. We've been in Paul for a minute, you know. Let me get this real quick. It's like it. Oh, I'm in the NLT. Let me get this KJV real quick. It says in verse 10, this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, right? Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of who? The devil, Hasatan. And he's telling you right here, right? Verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Why? Because Satan, Hasatan, Baal, he is a possessor. And he possesses your vessel and leads you astray from the Most High. But the only way he can possess you and lead you away from the Most High is if you have doubt, if you don't truly believe, if you're not walking in the ways of the Most High, and you doubt and don't have faith in the Most High and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawah. And this is why Paul is saying in verse 12 right here, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We're not going to war against flesh and blood. This is a spiritual fight. You got to get your spirit right. This is what Hamashiach Yahawah was saying in John 3, be born again. The conversation that he was having with Nicodemus, that's why Nicodemus said, can I be, as I'm grown and old, can I crawl back up in my mother's womb again? No. But you got to be born of the spirit. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that was born of the spirit of the rakah. So you have to be born of the spirit, because we don't fight against what? Flesh and blood. Paul is saying, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. So we are fighting against the rulers, against Hasatan, all his minions, and his wife, this prostitute, this harlot. And this is who we fighting against. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. It's very high places. Why? Because Hasatan say he don't care about possessing the bum on the corner. I mean, he gonna do it because the bum on the corner, I mean, he doesn't possess anything. He doesn't have anything. He's just probably a wino and, alcoholic or a drunk or a drug addict. So yeah, the spirit is in him too. But you best believe he wants the spirit of who? Them people on high. Like Trump, like Elon Musk, like all of those people in Hollywood, just making all of these demonic movies and things like that to push out his what? Wickedness about being a wizard, necromancy, fortune telling, witches. The Most High said in Leviticus and in Deuteronomy, those people need to be put to death. And Paul is letting us know we don't wrestle against flesh and blood once again, but the spiritual wickedness on high places. Verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High Yahawah, that ye may be able to what? Withstand. So you need the armor of the Most High to be able to withstand the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore. Meaning now you prepared, you ready, stand. You on that rock. You ready. You built yourself from the foundation through the spirit of the Most High that he sent the comforter to you, right? The spirit of truth. Now you walking with the Rakah Quadash, the Holy Spirit, and you have your loins girded about with what? Truth. You know the truth. You walking in the truth and having on the breastplate of righteousness. And your feet showed with the preparation of the gospel of what? Peace. And above all, taking the shield of faith. Gotta have faith, brothers and sisters. You got to have faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword. What's the sword? The word. The word. And take the sword of the spirit of the Rakah, which is the word of the Most High. So you got to know you got to have the sword, which is the word, and you got to know how to swing that thing. Chopping it down. Why? The word is known as a sword. It's known as an axe, and it's known as a hammer. So after you stab it once, you take the axe and you chop it down. And after you chop it down, you turn it into a hammer, and then you beat it down so that it can't get up. That's the word of the Most High Yahawah that he gives us. So yes, brothers and sisters, just to let you know, we are fighting against spiritual wickedness on high, in high places, as it said. And this crafty one, right? All the way back in Genesis before we go back to the video. This crafty one. This is who we fighting against. This crafty one. Huh? This serpent. Huh? That's who we fighting against. This serpent. This crafty one. The beast of the field, which Yahawah, Allah, had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, have Allah said, ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the... She shouldn't have been having a conversation with him. She shouldn't even been having a conversation with him. That wasn't her husband. That was not her husband. She was married to Adam, and Adam gave her her name, and she said that you should be called woman because you came from me. Why is she having another conversation with another man? Why is she having a conversation with him, with this serpent? That's what happened in the world right now, 2025. The same thing. Your woman, your wife out there having a conversation with another man, that crafty one, that sly one. Huh? Tempting her. Why? Because he's a possessor and he's looking for an empty vessel. Any little entry that he can creep his way in, like a rat, like a mouse, like a roach, ooh. Just looking for any way. That serpent. Let's go back to the video. Let's go back to the video before I get ready to close out and hear what else is being said. All praises for this today, man. Thank you, Yahweh, through the Spirit. Baal Ahchyam Ahchwhyam Ahchwahyam. That's beautiful, man. Beautiful.
An upstate woman faces buggery charges after sheriff's deputies say she videotaped herself having sex with a dog.
Shocking crime.
She did what? She videotaped herself having sex with the dog. Read Leviticus 18 again. Leviticus 18, read it. Leviticus chapter, let me go back. Read Leviticus chapter 18, right? Verse 23. And for those who really want to get it, please go back, read all of Leviticus, the whole book. But for what we talking about right here and right now, read Leviticus chapter 18, verse 23. That we, as the children of Israel, are commanded not to lay down with beasts. And you see these people, these heathens, these other nations, what they doing? Laying down with beasts. Huh? See, this woman got caught videotaping herself having sex with a dog. I mean, come on now. What kind of, come on. This is, woo. Let's get it.
Crime in a Tampa neighborhood where police arrested a man who they say was having sex with a pit bull. Several people witnessed what was happening yesterday in the yard of a home on North Mark Street.
South Australian police are monitoring a father and daughter who've revealed they are a couple and have a child together. John and Jenny Deeves were
a father and a daughter. He having sex with his own daughter. And they got a child together with his own daughter.
reunited 30 years after Mr. Deeves separated from Jenny's mother. They told 60 Minutes they fell in love and now have a daughter together. The couple said they knew it was wrong, but emotions took over.
When you were a kid.
So they knew it was wrong, but emotions took over. No, that lust took over. Don't blame it on emotions. That lust took over you. That's what took over you. The lust, that flesh, right?
Name something you used as a partner to practice kissing. Yeah.
Sister.
Yeah. Big Jim. His sister.
I think it's funny kissing on his sister. That's sick, man. You kissing on your sister. Y'all, you and your sister laid up in the bed together kissing on each other. That's sick. And you laughing. It's funny to these people because they heathens. These people are Gentiles. They are heathens, and it's funny to them. You know why? Because it's already commanded in the Torah that the Most High said that what? These people, they had already been doing this. This is why the Most High vomited them out of the land, kicked them out, because all of these abominations are their custom. These are the things that they do. So it's funny to them. It's no biggie. They're laughing. It's enjoyment. But to the Most High, it's not.
Yeah. Well, you got 7 other people gonna be in the same room in hell with you.
This was the wickedness that God was warning Israel about. And these are the same practices that we are guilty of as well in modern society. We have changed the meaning of a woman in the dictionary to mean the gender ID of one who identifies their own self to be a woman.
And this is crazy. I'm glad Trump came in and said, listen, whatever you was born as, a man or a woman, that's what you're going to be identified as, okay? Whatever's on your birth certificate, because this stuff is crazy. This is exactly what it's talking about in the Bible. Leviticus 18 and 22, right? 23, all this stuff. This is crazy.
Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman?
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well, that's
how do you define a
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not myself.
You used the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
that describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Gender is no longer defined by a biological trait from birth. Gender is now based on how one identifies oneself to be.
There's approximately 1.2 million people.
Now, whatever you want to be, that's what you could be. Whatever you want to be, that's what you could be. What the Bible say about that? The Bible say that man was made what? Upright, right? The Most High made man righteous, not to be whatever you want to be, right? Let me get this real quick. And I'm gonna get ready to close out in a minute, but let me get this. I want to get this real quick. Let me get this scripture. In the 1611 King James Bible, if you don't have a 1611 King James Bible, please get you one. In the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, right? I'm gonna jump down and I want verse 9 real quick. And it says, let me blow this up even more. Verse 9, and it says, why is earth and ashes proud? Ask yourself that. Who is earth and who is ashes? We are, as human beings, as individuals, that the Father took from the ground of the earth and created us, formed us, and then he blew into our forefather, Adam, or Adam, right, into the breath of life. So why is earth and ashes proud? Why are you so proud that the Most High created you as a woman or created you as a man, and then you're going to come here on this earth and say, no, I don't want to be a woman. I want to be a man. Or no, I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. That's being prideful, proud, and going against your very creator that created you. Right? And it says, there is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such a one setteth his own soul to sell. His own soul is being set up for what? Sale. Who's going to buy it? Who's going to purchase it? Satan, the possessor, right? That's how he comes and tempts you. For our brother, Hamashiach Yahawashi, he said what? Bow down to me. I'll give you all of the kingdoms of the world, right? He tempts you for you to sell your soul away, to basically give it away, because you're not really selling it, and he's not really giving you anything, because everything here is meaningless. It says, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. You cast away yourself for corruptible things, right? But the children of Israel, the true Israelites, we're fighting for what? Incorruptible things, right? For that crown on our head, right? That's why I have a crown on my head right now. Hopefully one day, through prayer, through enduring to the end, through walking in righteousness, through my brother Hamashiach Yahawashi, that I could be one of those that get crowned, right? The real crown, the true crown that he put on our head, right? But until that day, I'm going to walk as if I have it, because if you walk as if you had it, then you can what? You discipline yourself. You discipline your thoughts. You discipline your mind. You discipline your tongue. You discipline your feet. You discipline your hands, your eyes, everything. As if you are already there. Because he said what? The kingdom is inside you. What you looking for it for? Why are you looking out to the sky for the kingdom when the kingdom is already inside you? We walking in the kingdom. We stay in the kingdom. We are the kingdom. I just hope you know that, brothers and sisters, you know. But let me go back to that. I wanted to show that real quick, you know. I wanted to show that to the brothers and sisters. Hey, let me make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe too, man. Leave a comment down in the chat so we can continue to edify one another, continue to get this message out, right? Let's go back to this video before I get ready to close out.
People in the U.S. identify as non-binary, meaning they don't identify as she or he, but they, and other pronouns.
This has also changed the meaning and image of marriage along with it. In the last video, we saw how even a dead prayer life and dead communion with God can lead to God removing our lampstand in his temple, which signifies our relationship with him, unless we repent. In this case, can you now imagine, with that in mind, how angry God could be?
Hey, that's crazy. Look what he's showing right here. You know, this is what I just read in Ephesians, right? Chapter 6. Chapter 6, verse 10 on down, right? The sword, which is the word. He got the shield on, and I can't see nothing else, but I'm pretty sure he got a helmet on. Like he prepared for that war. But we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against what? Spiritual principalities, right?
Concerning this matter we are looking at now.
Woe unto thee, O Israel! You have sinned a great sin in the sight of God. You are not worthy to receive these 10 commandments.
We're gathered against you, Moses. You take too much upon yourself. We will not live by your commandments. We're free.
Ain't that what people say now? We won't live by your commandments. We're free. We're free. You think you free until the Most High Yahweh come get up with you and take his spirit out of your body and you drop dead and your body is cold and worms and roaches and rats is gnawing at your flesh. And then you'll see how free you are.
No freedom without the law.
Whose
No
law?
freedom without the law.
Yours? Did you carve those tablets to become a prince over us?
That's sad.
What God has created, man has rejected and changed because of our feelings of what we think ought to be. When God takes corrective measure against it, somehow that makes him an unjust judge because we think we are smarter than him because of how we feel.
Ain't that what people right now say? I said it earlier. They say that G.O.D. of the Old Testament, right? They working with their feelings. They working with their emotions, right? But he is the one who created us and told us how to live and what to do. And that's what you got to come to terms with. Even me, I have to come to terms with that. It's still a fight every day. This is why he said you must endure to the end. You have to endure to the end. You have to fight the good fight of who? Your flesh. You fighting against your own self. Against what? The spiritual wickedness. And when you get to the point where you can walk in the spirit and have a high elite understanding of the spirit, right? Then you start to fight against other things and help other people, show them how to fight against it. But you have to have self-discipline to be able to fight against this thing. And that's what's wrong with people. They working with the emotions. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, that ain't right. Oh, he killed little babies. Oh, man, that's a righteous judgment. Whatever the Most High did, he did it in a righteous judgment, in a righteous way. And it's not for us to understand the creator. We are the creation. So you can never understand the creator and how he moving because you are the creation.
All of these things are influenced by Beelzebub. When reading through the Old Testament, I had always wondered how people who had experienced God the way Israel did could eventually forget about God and suddenly pray to stone statues instead.
Hey, I think about that all the time. I think about that all the time, man. Like, how could you do that when you seen what the Most High did? You was there. You walked out of Egypt, after being in slavery for 430 years. You seen the Most High split the Red Sea. You know what I mean? You seen the fire come down from the Shemayim. You seen him being with you, walking amongst you, through the Spirit. You seen the cloud, the pillar. You seen Moses do all of the things he did, getting the rock. You seen manna falling from the Shemayim. Like, how can you? I don't understand it. Like, I just don't understand it.
It didn't make any sense. Why worship statues that don't hear or say anything when, on the other hand, God revealed himself supernaturally to them so that there was no question whatsoever that he was the one true living God? But after recognizing Baal as a spirit from Satan, it makes total sense now. It wasn't the beauty of the carved images that were enticing. It was the power of the Baal spirit behind the idols.
The spirit of Baal in America, in the West, has been driving God out.
Notice he said, in America, in the West. See how this man is singling that out? You have to understand that in America, in the West, that's why America is known as what? Mystery Babylon. And who is here? He has sent, not only him, he's here, but he also has his wife with him, which is who? The mother of all harlots. This is why whoredom, prostitution is running rapid. All of our women are whores. All of them. Well, let me say this. A good majority, 90% of the women in Northern America, South America, America in general, are playing a harlot, playing a whore, or they're going whoring. So I take that back, not all, but a great percentage of women in the world today are prostitutes, whores, harlots. And I would say about 90%.
Out. So he said the schools we have from culture. Literally, the Bible says he caused them to turn away from the commandments. Literally, in America, we have actually cast down the 10 commandments. Same thing. So what we are watching, it's the repaganization.
Did you hear what he said? Let me rewind that. In America, they have done what? They have
schools we have from culture. Literally, the Bible says he caused them to turn away from the commandments. Literally.
They have turned away from the commandments. Every church out here, all the Catholics, all the Protestants, all the Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, non-denominations, Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterian, Seventh-day Adventists, no matter what you are, this day in America, they have all turned away from the commandments of the Most High Yahawah. And this man is on national TV telling us, letting us know that this is the spirit of who? Satan. B-A-A-L. This is the spirit of Satan. And this is why the churches have turned away and cast away the commandments to say that the commandments are done away with. I mean, this is crazy.
In America, we have actually cast down the 10 commandments. Same thing. So what we are watching, it's the repaganization of America. His job or his mission of this president is to take a Christian nation or Judeo-Christian nation and turn it into a pagan nation. And that is exactly what has been happening.
That's exactly what's happened. That is, boom, he hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what's happening. Has been happening and still continue to happen right now at this day, 2025, March 20th, right now.
Even though the children of Israel had no access to any of the things that distract us from our prayer life today, we see that they were dealing with the same temptations we are drawn to in America. They were bombarded with a corrupted view of marriage, faced with identity politics of a sort, experienced lust that had seemingly no societal consequence, and consulted with the worship of nature, all of which leads back to the spirit of Baal.
So all of this leads back to who? B-A-A-L, Satan. All of this stuff, it leads back to Satan. He is working these things in the spirit.
As much as Israel had collapsed under these same things.
Look at all of these heathens. Look. All of these heathens that have taken his rainbow to what? And made it an abomination. Right? Look at this.
So has the Christian Church of America. This is why the people of Canaan and Israel could not mix in society. And this is why us Christians cannot mix with the ideologies of the world.
That's why I read 2 Corinthians, right? Chapter 6, 17. Come out among them. You cannot be a believer and walk and be around our friends or fellowship with unbelievers. It just cannot be. I don't care who it is. Your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, even if it's your own child. That's why he said in Matthew 10 and 35 and on down, if you love your son, your daughter, your brother, your cousin, your sister, more than you love me, then you are not worthy of me. You have to separate yourself. You must realize this.
Remember when marriage was changed. Remember when that happened. We all remember it. That night, all over America, rainbows appear. And one of them appears on the White House. Remember that? Well, that night on the ancient calendar, I looked this up in the Bible, was the night that is appointed, the 10th of Tammuz, appointed.
Did you catch that? He said in ancient times. In ancient times, meaning this has been going on since long, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. In ancient times. Then you heard the name who? Tammuz. A brother asked me the other day, is it okay to wear a cross? I said, no, brother. When you wear a cross, that represents Tammuz. A lot of people don't even know where that come from. Who is Tammuz? But you just heard this man mention it. Tammuz. Right? I'll rewind it again so you can catch it, just in case you didn't hear it the first time.
Them appears on the White House. Remember that? Well, that night on the ancient calendar, I looked this up in the Bible, was the night that is appointed, the 10th of Tammuz, appointed.
The 10th of Tammuz. That's what it says.
Appointed to cast a spell to cause a man to love a man.
So that's what they did. Look at it. It was the 10th, Salakia. It was the 10th of Tammuz in ancient Babylon to do what? Cast a spell to make a man love another man. That's why they put the symbol all over the White House. That's why they had all of the rainbows everywhere. Why? Because they was casting a spell for men to love men. Right here, say the 10th of Tammuz. In ancient where? Babylon. Who is Tammuz if you don't know? Tammuz is whose son? Nimrod. Well, actually, I mean, Nimrod was already dead, but, you know, that's what she said. And who was she? Satan's wife. The mother, the moon goddess. Right? I mean, you got to read, man, in Genesis 10. But who is Nimrod? Nimrod is the Tower of Babel, which is where we get Babylon from. This is why it's called the 10th of Tammuz, ancient what? Babel or Babylon. I mean, and all they were doing was casting a spell on what? Men to love other men. This is why you have to have on the whole armor of the Most High Yahawah, right? As Paul said in Ephesians, so you can cast down and take on them fiery darts of who? Satan. Hasatan.
On that day, it all was determined by the mystery of the God.
As we will soon see, Israel did not obey the command of the Lord after Joshua passed on.
They didn't obey the commandments, as he said. They didn't obey the commandments of the Most High Yahweh after Moses passed, after Joshua passed, and that was the whole problem of Israel, is that they did not obey the commandments of the Most High Yahweh. Even, they was tripping with Moses, even his own brother and sister Aaron and Miriam, right? And they was just falling off little by here, little by there. All of the children of people in the wilderness. It was just a lot going on, man. It was just a lot going on, Let me get this one scripture before I close out. It's so much. It's so much. Let me get this one scripture I pulled up by who? Our brother. One of the wisest, right? One of the wisest ones, man. Let's see what he say before we close out. Right. So behold, this have I found, saith the who? The preacher, counting one by one to find out the account. Yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found. One man amongst 1,000 of them. So you know how many people you had to go through to encounter to find one man? Just one man that will serve the Most High? Just one. Solomon said he found one, but I found not. One man among 1,000 have I found, right? Let's get it. In any other translation, I want you to see. Though I have searched repeatedly, I have not found what I was looking for. Only one out of 1,000 men is what? Virtuous. So you know how many men you have to go through to find one virtuous, one good man, one upright man? NIV says, while I was still searching but not finding, I found one upright man among 1,000, but not one upright woman among them all. See? So Solomon said, I went through 1,000 men, 1,000. And out of 1,000, he found one, just one. And that's Solomon. Imagine how the judgment of the Most High or Yahawashi is out of 1,000 men, out of 2,000 men, out of 5,000 men. Solomon said he found one that was virtuous. He found one that was upright, just one. And out of all the women, thousands of women, he said he didn't find none. I found not none, not one. It says, but not what? One woman. NIV says, but not one upright woman among them all. If you could see that on the screen. Right? But one man he found, just one. That's one man. That's it. Out of 1,000. In verse 29, he says, lo, this only have I found. And this is where I'm going to leave off at. I'm closing out with this right here. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29. And he says right here, lo, this only have I found, that the Most High Yahweh have made man upright, which is righteous. But they have sought out many inventions, meaning they wanted to go their own way. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. Right? But the Most High made us upright. He made us righteous. But when it came to the earth, they went their own way. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get ready to close out, get up out of here. I give all praises, honor, glory, esteem to our Father, called Allah Yahawah, Shalawam Ahchyam Ahchwahyam. Hopefully, if you watch this message, it was edifying for you. Maybe you got something from it, you learned something from it. Maybe you didn't know something quite, but hopefully this is edifying. Make sure to, like I say, like, subscribe, share, comment, continue to get this message out, man. We have to educate our people because time is running short, and the water for everybody who tuned in, and the water for all those that watch. You know, I give praises once again to our Father, called Yahawah, Shalawam Ahchyam Ahchwahyam, and Kwam Yasharala, Shalawam.